Hey everyone, Adam here, and I'm starting a new series for those of you who are interested in improving your lives. How I quit certain things and how I achieve certain things in life. I still don't know what to call the video series, but this is the first one. Light and fluffy. How I quit smoking. I started smoking when I was 11 years old, believe it or not. My dad smoked. My biological dad smoked cigarettes. He still does. And my adopted dad smoked cigarettes. However, he quit around the same time I did, after I did. So, how I quit was, first of all, by the time it was legal for me to buy cigarettes, I felt like it wasn't cool anymore. But I used to smoke half a pack to a pack a day, depending on whether I was drinking or not. A lot of the guys, in the mechanic shop, in the auto industry were smoking, so I felt like I was one of the men. But then when it was cool, when I was legal to buy cigarettes, it wasn't cool anymore. So I felt like when I was 18, 19 years old, that what I was doing was a bad habit. So I had been smoking for like 8 years by the time I realized what I was doing wasn't really healthy. I remember coughing, and I remember thinking to myself at 18, 19, I really should quit this because it's not healthy. And I can tell after these many years of smoking cigarettes that it isn't healthy. I would smoke Players Light Smooth. I smoked De Maurier for many years, and then towards the end, I would smoke my adopted dad's brand of Pakistani cigarettes that he imported from Pakistan. They were thin, light, smooth things. But how I quit was I bought a package of cigarellos when I had it in my mind that, okay, I have to quit this thing. I have to quit this habit. Back then, this is how I did it. I bought a package of cigarellos called pom poms. So they come in like a package of maybe 4 or 5. It's been a while. Um, and they're thick cigars, but they're like tiny. So cigarellos, they're thicker cigarettes basically, and they're brown. So you unwrap each individual one, and to smoke it, you can't smoke it in a sitting. You have to it takes an hour or so, and it stinks so bad. It's so stinky. So in my mind, I was like, I have to quit smoking. So this is my plan. Start with cigarellos. Just basically scrap your brand. If you're smoking De Maurier Players, just scrap it all and switch. So immediately you're switching your habits from something that you're used to like cigarellos in my case. And then after a couple weeks of cigarellos, again, my clothes stank, everything stank. So then I switched to cigars. So then I would go and buy, fancy cigars or whatever cigars I thought were good at the time, which, as you know, take a really long time to smoke. So instead of having cigarellos or cigarettes in my pocket, in my mind, I was just like, I smoke cigars now. At 18, 19 years old, I just made up my mind. Nobody taught me how to do this, by the way. This is something that I just did. Nobody was guiding me how to quit smoking. So in my mind, I went from, cigarettes or half a pack to a pack a day to I smoke pom poms, I smoke cigarellos. And then I switched to I smoke cigars. I would tell myself I smoke cigars. I don't smoke anything else but cigars. And then again, cigars take sometimes a day to smoke. You can't just sit there smoking cigars all day. You have to relight it and relight it. And then there just came a point where I got tired of smelling like cigars. I hated having ashes and whatnot in all my pockets because I would put the cigar in the secret pocket of the jackets or shirts I was wearing. and I just got sick of my fingers smelling and everything smelling like cigars. And one day, before my 19th birthday, or before I was 20 for sure, I just said, yeah, I've had enough of this. So I did it in stages, but in retrospect, looking at how I quit smoking, I basically supplemented a bad habit for another habit, which was a little less bad. So I was failing less. Like, if you admit that smoking cigarettes every day is failing, then fail less in increments. And so I was failing less in increments in a way that may not be, in a way that most people might think, well, he didn't quit cold turkey, he didn't do that, but it's a way that worked for me, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. So I switched from smoking cigarettes every day, half a pack to a pack a day, to cigarellos, and then after a few months maybe, or a few weeks, definitely there was like a time period of smoking cigarellos. But I think if you're on your path to quitting, you'll know when the right time is. And then you go to cigars, and I think I lasted maybe a couple months smoking cigars like that. So it was a staged quit, and it took a few months. But basically, by the time you're at cigars, the nicotine in your body has, it's decreasing and decreasing. I never chewed any nicotine gum. I never chewed any of that. I tried it, but I didn't like it. So I never did any nicotine supplements or whatever. But I feel like if you look at it from a medical standpoint, I was decreasing the nicotine and the chemicals, obviously, in stages, while still getting that fix of smoking something. And so that's how I quit smoking. If you want to try to quit, it's obviously the best time. Who smokes cigarettes during all these respiratory illnesses and the seasons, that the season of respiratory illnesses? Who smokes cigarettes? It's very crazy to see people in 2022 smoking cigarettes. So quit smoking. Your lungs will thank you. I quit smoking before I was 20. That was 20 years ago for me. I never think about smoking. I never want to smoke. I got one of those e-cigars years ago as a joke. But yeah, all these years later, there's nothing in me that wants to smoke cigarettes. So I hope that my advice and my story can help you quit. You can do it.